Okay, in our last video, we went over how to name our shots, where to get all that information. We went over the transfer process for the film onto the computer or onto an external hard drive. And so I have all that transferred onto the computer now. Everything's named, and we're going to go through how after we name everything and transfer everything to the computer, how to create a new library, get that footage into Final Cut Pro, name the camera clips or camera angles, and then make each of these songs that we've imported into a multicam clip. All right, so you can see here on the computer that I've named everything. It's not exact. I switch some things around every now and then, but that's okay. The point of this is that we're trying to be effective and efficient with our time, and we're trying to make sure things are easily identifiable. And the way I have this set up, it's easily identifiable. So we're going to go ahead and import this footage into Final Cut Pro. But the way I'm going to do that is I actually create a new library for every week of Chapel, and that just helps me keep things organized. And you can open up multiple libraries within Final Cut Pro, so it makes it easier for me to manage the footage and know where everything is at each week. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Final Cut Pro, and we're going to go into how to create a new library and transfer the footage. So here we are in Final Cut Pro. I'm going to choose File, New, Library. I'm going to name this Chapel Week 8, and it's just going to save. It's just going to save that library file inside that folder directory. And then what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to go into Import Footage, and I'm only going to select Take 2 of Holy Ground and Take 1 of Came to My Rescue, because we decided on the audio side of things that we only wanted Take 2 and Take 1. So Take 2 of Holy Ground we're going to find first, and I'm just going to get that. And then I'm going to take 1 of Came to My Rescue. Then I'm also going to go ahead and get the Call to Worship. And then I am going to get the series intro. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the right side of the screen, and I'm going to show you what settings I click and use for importing the footage. I'm just going to add this simply to the event 10/14/20. That's today's date. I'm going to leave the files in place on the drive. I am going to have keywords turned on, and I'll show you why that's important in a later video. Audio roles, this looks great. Transcoding. So there's optimized media and proxy media. I have found that if I'm running into issues with my computer kind of bogging down and not having enough power to edit the video, that changing my view to proxy video works really, really well. I've even had my fan turn off while using proxy video before. So I don't create optimized media. I don't see a point in creating both. So I just create the proxy media. The optimized media kind of gunks up my library. So we just create the proxy media. And essentially what it does is allows you to edit at a lower resolution. And then when you're ready to export, you can export at the higher resolution. So we're going to just choose Import Selected. And that's going to import here with my clips. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and edit my camera names. Now that's important to do because that's how your multicam clip identifies which camera it's going to like piece together. So we're gonna use Holy Ground, and the audio for Holy Ground is in the C200. So the C200 has really nice preamps. It gets a direct feed from our board. We always make sure those levels are really, really nice. So it actually sounds pre-mixed, which I like editing video like that because I get the full dynamic of the band, and it just makes things easier for me to edit. So we're going to choose Holy Ground main shot C200, and we're going to go up here to we're just going to go to the inspector, and we're going to choose A. And then we're going to find the next one, Holy Ground Take 2, B, Holy Ground Take 2, C. Then we're going to go D, and the last one will just be E. And I'm not going to worry about naming the other camera yet, the other camera angle yet. I don't need to worry about that now. All right, so we have all our camera angles named, and this process for syncing them together is actually really simple. All you do is click each one while holding down Command, so E, D, C, B, and A. I'm going to make sure they're all Take 2. Yep, make sure they're all holy ground. Great. You just right click, new multicam clip. That simple. And I'm just going to name this multicam clip holy ground, multicam. All these settings look great. Angle assembly is going to be camera name, not camera angle, automatic, or clips. It's just going to be camera name. And so I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And it's going to synchronize things up real quick. Automatically, it's going to sync things up. And then it adds it to my clips list. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to call this Holy Ground. Everything looks great. No issues here. And I'm going to take the Holy Ground multicam clip and drag it to my timeline. So that's a pretty simple process. It is not hard to do at all. These next few steps that I'm going to go through are going to talk about how we kind of trim up the clips and make them nice and sync everything up. And then we're going to change our view on the screen a little bit so it's easier to edit all of our clips together at once. All right, so this is what your screen normally looks like when you go edit multicam video. Or when you go edit video, period. It looks like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you how to get into the multicam editing. So we're going to get rid of this pane over here. We're just going to click this button here. And this is normally where you would have your viewer, but you can see we don't see all the different clips available to us. We need to see all those different clips. So to create room, I'm going to get rid of this over here. And then I'm going to go to the view in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to click angles. And you can see all my 5 angles are here. Some of them are black, and it's because the video hasn't started yet on those cameras. And you can see if you go to settings here, you can see 2 angles, 4 angles, and the next one available is 9 angles. So you can't just choose 5, you have to choose 9. So if you're not seeing all your angles, it's probably because you don't have the right setting displayed. And I think by default, it only shows 2 angles. So you need to go in and change that to 9. So we're going to go down here to our multicam clip, and I'm going to double click on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim each clip to match the beginning of the C200 shot, since that's where all of our nice sounding audio is at. Every other camera recorded audio, it just recorded it internally on the camera versus over the XLR from the board. So I want to listen to this C200 part right here just to see if maybe I can trim a little bit more off. Yeah, so you can see that the pad comes in. That's probably where I want to trim it at. All right, so I'm going to trim this clip here all the way up. And then I'm going to trim the rest of our clips to right about the same spot as well. There we go. And then I'm just going to click the caret here to get back. And I'll come and trim it up there. All right, let's see what that's like. All right, so there we go. The clip's lined up. We're going to go a little farther into the clip, and I just want to make sure Anea's voice is matched up with the C200. Yep, so that looks like her vocal is lined up perfectly fine with the audio, so we should be good to go. The piano is lined up as well. I checked a couple of the other clips just to see what they looked like too. So that's how you create a multicam clip. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how we edit that multicam clip, how we break it up, and kind of creatively what we're looking for from a music perspective as well. Thanks.